I'm here to tell you a small story. The story of my family and the story of our business. Like the chef said, we've been in business for 45 years now. My father started the business in 1972 in a small town in Puerto Rico called Aguadilla. Have you guys been to Puerto Rico, any of you guys? Raise your hand, who has been in Puerto Rico before? Okay, so many of you. The rest, that's your assignment. You have to go to Puerto Rico and try a sandwich from El Meson. Borinquen, in the 107. It was right next to a very, very beautiful and famous beach in Puerto Rico, Crash Boat. Beautiful place. But it was a very small space, around 350 square feet. And my father came up with the idea of opening a deli in Aguadilla in 1972. There were no restaurants, there were no delis, but he went to a trip to New York. He went to a delicatessen that he loved it. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna go back to Puerto Rico. He had no job at the time. He had a business that was relying on an Air Force base that was in Aguadilla at that time, that closed down, so he got out of the business. So he had nothing, no work, and no way to feed his family. Like many of us, like we had experienced before, or your families. You have to do something, you have to work. So he came back to Aguadilla with that idea. He rented out that space and he just opened a deli. Bought a fridge, different cheeses, blue cheese, Swiss cheese, things that were new in that town. And at the same time, he would make sandwiches out of those products. He opened the first day of the business, I remember like today. He opened July 4th, 1972. And he opened that day because many people went to the beach that day. It was close by. He sold $99. First experience in business in the restaurant business. But he learned very quickly. And he made changes very quickly. People would go there to buy some sandwiches, but would never try the blue cheese or the sweet cheese at that time. So 3 months later, he got rid of the fridge and he put a bigger grill. And we started making, and that's when we became a sandwich and breakfast place in Aguadilla. If you see any successful story, it was always have hard work behind it. So if you think you're working now, when you get out there to the real world, you're gonna be working and you have to expect to work many hours. Then he decided, and that's one thing that we still do today, how I make my product better every day. So at one point, that small restaurant had so many people coming every day, not only from the town, from nearby towns that would come over for the sandwiches and the breakfast, that he had to do a production line. Not by an engineer, it was done by the people that worked in that restaurant. If one thing is so important when you open your first business, and I think who would like to have their own restaurant here in the future? That's it? No one else? Of course, everyone wants to do that. Back in your mind, everyone. If people will ask me before, when I was going to college here in Florida, in Jacksonville, JU, people will ask me, "But what are you going to do when you graduate?" I said, "Well, I'm going to go back and open a restaurant with my father, the second restaurant with my father." And people say, "Well, but that's all you want to do." And I had so many ideas in my mind. Of course, I wanted to open many restaurants. I wasn't going to come down here, but I would not say it because I was ashamed. People will think this is a dreamer, and he will never be able to do it. But if you want to do it, you have to work hard to make it real. And that's part of what I'm here for. I'm going to tell you the story of how my father started in 1972 in Aguadilla and what we have become on our island and now in Orlando, in Central Florida. Well, we have to say goodbye to Facebook friends. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you at Meson. That's now we got rid of our Facebook friends, and we are. When I came back from college, we opened a second restaurant in a mall, in the Maya West Mall. At that time, we had a brand recognition. Our name was known in the area, in that western part of the island. And we were very successful in our second restaurant. But if we wanted to do more restaurants, we had to start doing standardizing all the procedures. So the same sandwich you eat in Aguadilla, you eat it in Maya West, or you eat it in the Florida Mall today. And that takes time. That takes really discipline. So you write down everything you do, and you try to simplify as much as you can, so you can repeatedly and obviously train people to do it the same way. Florida Mall or Aguadilla. We were very lucky at that time that there were no real sandwich restaurant that was organized in Puerto Rico. So as soon as we started, people saw that we were doing very professional work. Shopping malls from the islands, the biggest shopping malls on the island, started calling us to open restaurants in the shopping centers. We're very lucky, because if you're going to do that today in Puerto Rico, now we have all the big brands. I'm going to tell you what, we are the biggest seller by square feet in all the shopping malls in Puerto Rico. And we compete with big chains, Firehouse, Quiznos, Charlie Shops, and we see our number one in our island. And that's, you know why that's that? Because we have a great team of people. That's the whole difference. We don't sell sandwiches. We work with people. If you want to succeed, you have to have a great team around you. Teams for entrepreneurs. And you know who's an entrepreneur? That's not a profession. You don't learn that in school. That's a state of mind. It's thinking as if you were the owner the first day you went to work for that company. If today, 52 years old, I have to start all over again, I will choose the company I would like to work for. A company that has future. A company that I believe of what they do, the service they provide. I want to step there. The first day I come in, I'm going to feel, I'm going to think, and I'm going to act as if I was part owner or the owner of the place. And I guarantee you that you're going to be successful. I guarantee you, you grow in that company. I guarantee you, you decide if you want to grow in the company, have experience in the company, to do something better in the future. You have to love what you do to be successful. Going back to the business part, on those humble beginnings, one day, we were like 4 years into the business already. I worked there since day one. Not because I liked it, not because I wanted to, because I had to. Because in my family, everyone had to work. And that became, obviously, our only business. So we all worked there. I knew the school was paid by that business, that our house payment became from that business. So one day, these people from New York came in, and they bought a property very close by, and they built this beautiful building. And they say they were going to be opening a restaurant. So we thought, well, maybe a burger place or a restaurant. Then we realized the guy was doing an exact copy of Meson. He wanted to do the same restaurant, same sandwiches, same breakfast, same coffee. Not only that, they went to our store and they took 2 of our employees, they paid them more, and they went over to work for them. I was probably 10, 11 years old at that time. So I was worried. And the employees in the store would start talking about it. So I go to my father and I said, are you worried? These people, no, they're doing the exact same. And they have air conditioning. At that time we have air conditioning in our restaurant. He just laughed at me and said, you know what? Don't lose your time looking to the sides, looking around. What you have to do is look always to the future and inside of what you are doing today. Are you doing the best you can today? Is something better we can do? Then do it. And look to the future. You spend your time looking what other people are doing around you, you will fail. You know how long that restaurant was there open? 6 months. 6 months. It closed. I think now there is parts, auto parts at this time. So if it's something that you have to learn, something that you want to do in the future, try to be authentic. Don't worry about your competition or your neighbors do. Worry about what you do to do it better every day. Came from college, opened a second restaurant, started opening restaurants. Long story short, we became the biggest local company in Puerto Rico, restaurant business. We have now 37 restaurants in Puerto Rico. We are in the biggest, most. We just opened one 2 weeks ago in San Patricio Plaza. We now do more freestandings, where we have drive-through and we have a dining area. First, my father, in 1986, before we opened a second restaurant, I think we sold $360,000. We sold this year over $90 million. He had 5 employees. We have over 2,000 employees in Puerto Rico. And then 4 or 5 years ago, we decided we wanted to do the crossover and come over to the States. And we do so well against the competition in Puerto Rico. I think we have a fabulous, great, I think we have some sandwiches around. You should try them. Product. People think, it's not that Puerto Rican food. No, it's sandwiches. It's breakfast. We've been selling American food in Puerto Rico for the past 45 years. That's the truth. We have different flavors, obviously. We use cabbage, we use lettuce. We press all our sandwiches, as most Caribbeans do, or Latins do. But at the end, we had to come over and try if our concept, because you always try to do things better. You always try to get better of what you do, and that's part of it. We can be very successful in Puerto Rico, but we have to try how we do in the States, right? In the mainland. So we came over 4 years ago. We started looking at different locations. We decided Florida was the best place to come over. 2 reasons. Demographics are great. You have visitors from all over the world that comes to Florida for some reason. Maybe the weather and the nice people here. And it was close to Puerto Rico, where we have many flights a day. We have 10, 12 flights every day from San Juan, from Puerto Rico really to Florida, Miami or Orlando. Then we decided Orlando. 2 reasons. We have the tourism here, we have the right demographics, but we had also something very important. We had the human resource. Because the best human resource for food service in the world are here in Orlando. Why? Because you have so many restaurants. You have you have Disney here, you have Universal. So they're trained. You guys know what to do better than many people in the whole world. So that was one of the reasons we came. And obviously, we had a big Puerto Rican population that they knew our brand and they could help us out get the brand known in the area. So the plan was to open 5 restaurants. We have 3 open. We have one in the Florida Mall. We have one in Osceola Parkway, very close from here. And then we have one at the food court at Premium Outlets at Vineland. We have 2 more to be open. And at the end of the year, we'll be opening at Lee Vista Promenade. It's going to be it's close to your house? It's close? Yeah, good. That's Osceola is an end cap with a drive-through and dining area. And then we have our first freestanding unit to be open next year at Millenia Boulevard, next to the new Costco they just opened site. So our plan is to open these 5 restaurants, then decide where we'll go from here. We probably try to go down more south from Orlando, but we had a great, successful experience. And if you're going to ask me what's the secret to do so, There's only two things. You have to love what you do. You love what you do. If you don't love it, don't do it. If you have doubts, you better start. You know what I used to do when I started? I used to clean up the counter in the mornings. And I cleaned it out perfectly. I was touching my restaurant. That's what I was doing. I was touching my restaurant. As you touch your girlfriend or your boyfriend, you touch the counter. And you have to work very, very hard. 7 days a week, if it's needed. It's a do or die thing. So, but you guys, you have all it takes. You have the attitude to be successful, and you always are here in Florida Technical College, and that's the best first step. So, thank you very much for being here. Good luck. Thank you, Chef.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you. All right, do we have any questions? Any questions? My question was, did you hire those two people back after they closed after 6 months? That was my question.
We didn't. We didn't. They came back. We didn't.
Oh, please. No. So that's good. Anybody else?
Canovanas, Bell's Factory Outlets. You are right there. Ah, great. Well, you stop there. We have one at the airport also. So when you get to Puerto Rico, you can just go right there. I have the plane. Yes. Yeah.
When those restaurants start opening up, do they have like a job fair?
For the Orlando ones?
For the Orlando?
Yes. We're still hiring. We're still hiring. So if you have to stop by any of the restaurants and get an application, or through Talent Reef also.
I noticed that the bread is so open. You guys bake your own?
We do part bake. We produce the bread in Puerto Rico and we ship it here, and we give them the last touch in our stores. It's a delicious bread. It's made by a family in a small town called Aguada, Puerto Rico. They have been doing the bread for us for the past 25 years.
Would they hire our students to work in their bakery?
Of course, in Aguada, definitely.
Yeah.
In Aguada, definitely.
Externship. Think about it.
Yeah, too. That's your town, really, Aguada. Yeah, son los Rosas de allí. El apellido es Rosa, Miguel Rosa. We didn't close, well, yes, we did close it. When we decided to go over for freestandings, for the model of freestandings with a drive-through, remember, we do everything from the order. So we didn't know if the drive-through would work. And if we could be fast enough to do drive-through, we decided to do the first tryout in our hometown, where people knew us, where people really, they were. If you're gonna make a mistake, make it with friends. Don't make it with new guys. So we opened the store probably like a quarter mile from the original store. You're there from Aguadilla? Quebradillas. So we opened a new store. They were both open for about 2 years, but people prefer the air condition, the drive-through, the new facilities. So at one point we had to close the original one, and now we have as a matter of fact, we are remodeling that second store. It's been there already for 20 years. So we're remodeling that store in Aguadilla that's very close to the original one. You know what? There's something that people ask me all the time in Puerto Rico. Because as everyone probably knows, Puerto Rico has a lot of financial problems at this time. Yo los llamo retos. How do you call retos in English? Retos. Challenges. We have many challenges. We are very, let me put it this way, we don't have that many stores where we compete. Stores compete with each other. We only have 37 stores. I think we can really, Puerto Rico needs at least 60 Mesons at this point. We keep opening stores. Like we opened the one last week, 2 weeks ago. We did the blessing yesterday, or the day before yesterday. And then we should be opening 1 to 2 stores per year. to new areas where we don't have any presence, new towns that, there won't be competition against another store. Difficult times will come. We prepare for them. We are obviously marketing more, lowering prices at one point without sacrificing our quality, because that's not negotiable. Puerto Rico will come back a couple of years, and we'll be there as other many companies and Puerto Ricans and Americans that stay there. Economic problems need to have action, and we haven't taken the actions to pass the storm. In 2-3 years, you see a different Puerto Rico. And then Puerto Rico is so beautiful again.
So you can say that the stores that you're opening here in the United States will be supporting the stores in Puerto Rico?
No. Even if I needed to, it won't, because we have 2,000 employees there, and we only have at this point 3 stores. We have to support ourselves down there, and we will. Everyone in Puerto Rico is prepared to have a probably lower income, net income. In this, we're already thinking probably the sales will come down 5%, 7%. You have to prepare for that. So you make your numbers to know that you make less money. Like, for instance, we already have a plan. We took our budget. Our budget for administration is almost $11 million, just on management. We took down 10% right from the bat. We as the owners, the stockholders, hey, we won't do any. We will do any dividends for the next 2 years. We already decided that. So we have to leave our salary just to prepare. But for instance, last year, we had our best year in history. We had 8% sales growth, and you know what we did? We gave a bonus back to all our employees. In January, we sent checks to all our employees from $250 to $500. We didn't have to do it, but we thought they deserve it. In a very bad year, we had skyrocket sales. This year, last year was our best year, and if we compare this month versus the month of last year, we're 1% over. So we're 9% over the prior year.
Involved with the community.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, Meson Sandwiches gave $170,000 to students for the scholarships in the island.
Mm-hmm.
Are you planning to do something similar?
Yes, we are. We want to do the same here in Florida. We are strong believers that you have to give back to the community.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chef.
Thank you so much for coming.